House of Frankenstein. The big crossover between the big three monsters. Frankenstein's monster, the Wolfman, Dracula, and a hunchback and a mad doctor. Originally also supposed to include the Mummy and Invisible Man, but they were cut. The film opens on a dark and stormy night. In prison, we see Boris Karloff not playing the monster, but a new doctor named Gustav Niemann. And he's talking about how he wants to transport a brain inside a dog's head to the hunchback, Daniel, played by J. Carroll Naish. Niemann says he just needs Dr. Frankenstein's diary to figure out how to do the brain swap properly. Also, apparently, his brother used to work for Frankenstein. Now, who his brother was, I don't know. It could be Frisk from the original, or Igor, or it's probably Carl from Bride of Frankenstein. It's always the ones you least expect. Then a convenient bolt of lightning blows a hole in the castle prison they're in, and they escape into the night. They hitch a ride on a performer who says he's got the original bones of Dracula, which he says he found in the Carpathians, meaning Transylvania. Even though in the Lugosi film, Dracula never returned to Transylvania like in the book, he was staked by Van Helsing in London, which they're clearly still doing given that he has a stake in him later. Either way, Daniel takes him out, one quick shave later, and they escape. Meanwhile, Burgermaster Hickman and his family are going to the carnival. And yep, they do have Dracula's bones that has a wooden stake in it. Even though technically last time we saw Dracula, his body was burned in Daughter of Dracula, so I guess that's not canon. Or it's the 40s, and no one would have remembered because they didn't have streaming or even VHS back then. Niemann pulls the stake out, and Dracula starts reforming. Good thing the stake was deep in him enough to be easily pulled out, but not fall out during transport. I guess it's not that silly, given that in Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, Larry came back when the moonlight just hit him. I'm just saying that maybe just an eye drop of blood on Dracula should reconstitute him. He fades in, and nope, he's not Bela Lugosi, he's John Carradine, father of David Carradine from Kill Bill. Don't you just hate it when people look different from what you expect? I want to know anything about that. Even his ring's different. Bela's original ring in the 30s film is a oval of onyx. Here it's a little more like a family crest wax stamper. Niemann uses Dracula for coffin protection, take out the people who wronged him. So he seduces the burgomaster's daughter and sneaks into his room at night, transforms into a cartoon bat, and sucks his blood. The next day the husband finds his girl wearing Dracula's high school ring, and his father-in-law dead. Calls the police, and now everyone has to escape. Daniel and Niemann decide to ditch Dracula's coffin, so now he has to go find it. But oh no, the sunlight's here, and he dies. Even though he's able to reconstitute from having the stake pulled out of his heart, I guess sunlight is permadeath. And yep, he does not return for the rest of the film. He's dead in 27 minutes. Seriously. Ugh. Now we're basically watching another film as Niemann and Daniel make it to town Frankenstein. They find a bunch of Romani getting harassed by the police. Then they get harassed by the police, it's a big show. Then Daniel saves a woman from being whipped. Elena as Ilanka really is turning into Hunchback from Notre Dame. But then Daniel and Niemann start exploring the ruins of Castle Frankenstein. How cold is it here? They were having like a spring festival last time we saw. Did Jack Frost fly through? They find the monster and Larry and unfollow them. And Larry's pissed that he's alive again. But Niemann says he can help him because brain swap. Larry finds Frankenstein's diary, which I guess Elsa put back. We head to Visaria, which is where Lugwood's place is, even though technically we should have already been there. Ilanka likes Larry, but Larry doesn't care, because he's a werewolf and his last two relationships didn't go well, which makes Daniel jelly welly. Turns out the Frankenstein monster is KO'd again, so they have to put him in an incubator. Why is this film named after him? He's barely done anything. Why isn't it called House of Wolfman or something? Or why is House in the title? We're not at Larry's place from the original film. This film has nothing to do with houses. Larry's like, where's my new body? Niemann's like, don't worry about it. I'm working on it. Just give it some time, bro. He kidnaps two guys, Ullman and Strauss, and we're going to play musical chairs with brains. So Ullman's brain is going to go into the Frankenstein monster's body, which would accomplish nothing for Neiman and instead just give Ullman a new body to kill him in. Then the Frankenstein's brain, which we remember is Igor's brain, is going to Larry's body for some reason. Larry's brain is going to Strauss's body because Neiman thinks that this is going to make Strauss turn into the Wolfman. Which even if we accept that werewolfism is a disease of the brain, given how Neiman thinks that this means that Strauss is going to turn into a werewolf, he thinks that this means that putting Larry's brain in Strauss's body is going to make him just Strauss with a new brain and he turns into a werewolf, even though ever since Ghost of Frankenstein, we've been working on cartoon logic that if we take the monster's brain out and put Igor's brain in it, Igor now has a new body. So really, it would just be Larry in Strauss's body. And if lycanthropy is a disease of the brain, then nothing is accomplished. Strauss's brain, I don't know, I guess they're going to just flush it down the toilet. And Daniel can go kick rocks, he doesn't get a new body. But Daniel wants Larry's body because Ilonka likes him. So he spills the beans that Larry's a werewolf, and she's not buying it.
You're making it all up because you're jealous. I hate you. You're mean. And you're ugly.
She hates me because I'm an ugly hunchback. If it wasn't for you, I'd have Talbot's body.
Well, that's sad and realistic. Yeah, take out that aggression on the monster. I think it actually starts waking him up because he flinches at it. Oh no, the wolf moon's howling, so Larry transforms to the wolf man off screen, but we can apply it from his footsteps. He jumps on one and now everyone's hunting for him. But Ilonka doesn't care that he's a werewolf. She's here for him. So she really did not need to blow up at Daniel. And they finally wake up the damn monster an hour and 2 minutes in. He's played by Glenn Strange, who was Lugosi's stunt double in the last film, and counting that and the rest of the franchise, that means he's played Frankenstein monster the most of any actor. 4 separate times. But then the villagers are attacking, and Larry turns Wolfman in the best transformation scene we've ever seen yet. God, that would suck standing still for 7 hours as they glue hair to you. I can barely stand still for 10 minutes. Ilonka arms herself with silver bullets, but she gets attacked. But she still shoots Larry. I just died in your arms tonight. Daniel is not happy about this, so he attacks Neiman in the shadows, and finally, 3 minutes until the end of the film, Igor Frankenstein monster finally wakes up, gets off the slab like Darth Vader in Revenge of the Sith, and throws Daniel out the window, where he transforms into a ragdoll and they reuse a scream from Son of Frankenstein. The monster picks up Neiman, and Boris Karloff looks at him and is like, oh, thank God I didn't have to wear all that crap on my face this time. The villagers break in, they chase off the monster, and him and Neiman sink into quicksand, and the film wraps up so fast my head's spinning. Final body count. 10 if we include the monsters. And that was the first big crossover in the OG Darkverse. How was it?
Disappointed!
Just like the other Universal monster films, the cinematography, the music, the acting, the sets are all beautiful. And it is really cool that they got all the monsters in the one film, but it falls flat because none of them interact. Dracula didn't even need to be in this damn film. John Carradine does a decent job, he's no Lugosi, but who is? But it's just so disappointing that none of them had any screen time together, despite the film being promoted as the big crossover film. That's like if the MCU, there was no Avengers, and the only crossover we ever got was just Falcon versus Ant-Man. Even that's more than we got here. The love triangle feels rushed, and Larry's story also feels rushed. Daniel feels like he could be likable if his story wasn't rushed. Overall, this film's a mess. It's kind of cool, just the fact that it exists. But overall, if you want a better crossover monster film, watch Monster Squad. For this film, 5 out of 10. Make sure to like, share, comment, and if you're new here, subscribe.